Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're well. So tonight we are scrapbooking because it is the first Tuesday of the month, and that's what we do on the first Tuesday of the month. Over the last month we have missed a couple of Try It Out Tuesdays. For a couple of different reasons, but I have no plans to miss any more for the rest of the year, so that's quite exciting. Well, I think it is. I hope you do too. So, but like I say, it's the first Tuesday of the month, so we're going to be scrapbooking, which means next month is our last scrapbooking one of the year before Christmas. That has gone by a bit quick, I feel. But isn't that just always the way? What can you do? So tonight we are going to be doing some scrapbooking in sepia tones because I have found, I was hoping to get back. So last week I didn't do my Try It Out Tuesday because I was at the Tower of London and I took some absolutely beautiful pictures of the White Tower with loads of poppies around it, and I had planned to do that and all sorts of things, and I'd ordered some new photo paper so I could print them myself, and I'd actually ordered them from a print service online, but that hasn't come. But luckily I do have this really beautiful picture of Abby and our dog Lucy that I got printed in a lovely sort of sepia tone ready, and I thought that would look absolutely stunning with some of the autumn portrait style papers, because we have these lovely golden leaves. Now, if you haven't seen these yet, okay, these are the autumn portrait catalyst collage papers. Now, obviously they do have lots of portraits on them, but I don't think that excludes them from being really, really handy for scrapbooking. Okay, so we're going to work our way through. I'm really sorry if I sound a bit huffy puffy. I thought it had gone quite cold and I've put my heating on and now I'm absolutely roasting. I only put it on for half hour, but I'm absolutely boiling. I think I overdid it. I was a bit preemptive, I think. But what can you do? Right, so I did have, so I've got, like I say, the catalyst collage mostly in A4. I did have an A5 as well, but I do also have these two here, which I've actually already got some modelling paste sections on and some ink blending. I did these at a workshop I did with Joe Channon a couple of weeks ago, and I was using these as samples. So the beautiful thing about this is it's really dry, but I don't think I'm going to use these tonight, but keep your eye out for those coming maybe on an art journal page or something in the next little while. So I think the one I'm thinking of using is either going to be this one or maybe this one, because this one really is solid sort of sepia tones, and I'm thinking of really just putting that picture absolutely in the middle, and you can see there, that's where you sort of see the portrait just becomes the background. You can't see really that it's covering over a face, and we'll be able to add a bit more to that. Now I think what I'm going to do is I am going to trim down. Now, this is just a piece of cream that I've been doing some things on, but I think I'm going to trim down this white edge because I think it does need to be on a cream background, this one. I think the white edge is a bit too stark to leave on. All right, so we'll trim that off first. So how is everybody? Are we all having a lovely crafty week? I mean, these dark nights, I don't know about anybody that doesn't have school age kids or things like that, might not find it such a leap, but because I do have school age kids and the clocks go back during half term, you sort of, you know, it's gradually been getting darker since kids went back to school, obviously, but then the clocks go back half term and then you're thrown back into your routine this week. And it's like, oh, it's dark all the time. I mean, it's absolutely fine. But I will say this, I'm absolutely not trying to depress anyone. If you are not a fan of the darker nights, don't worry. We are less than, I think, 7 weeks away from shortest day, and then they start getting longer again. So There you go. See, it's not that long at all, really. Okay. So what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to keep my trimmer out. And we are going to layer up. See, you see without that white border, that just works, doesn't it? With the cream a lot better. Okay, so but I think what we're going to do is we're going to layer up the photo as well, and we're going to glue all that together. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a quick look. Did I get pen around the edges of this? No, that's fine. We'll go this side anyway, because it's got the linen effect. So I am actually just going to use, I don't know if my tape runner is feeling up to the challenge. Hopefully she is. I'm just going to glue this one in here, just sort of creating that even sort of border. And then we've got those lovely even tones. I'm going to do some stamping and blending onto there as well. But then we also need a cream piece for the photograph. Now let me just stand up, and this is where I absolutely hope I have another piece of something cream. So that's more of an ivory, but you know, let's see how we do. Ah, there we go. There's a piece that absolutely matches. Doesn't have to match. I just like that sort of continuation. Okay, 6 weeks and 5 days. Oh, so I was actually very almost perfectly correct. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it quite a narrow border, I think. All right, so again, I'm just going to get my... Now, in fact, this picture, and this is if it's going on the basis of when it was ordered, this picture is 6 years old. But this is how you can still find Abby and Lucy most of the time. In the corner of the sofa, under a blanket. Apart from when I'm in here, and then Lucy's generally at my feet. Okay, and then I'm going to give that a bit of a skinny border. I just don't want it quite as wide as the one. And then, yeah, we're going to make this quite bold. On nearly all of my pages that we've made together this year, the picture has either been left or left, and I've added some smaller ones down here like we did last month with the pumpkins. I actually got that out to show you. See what I mean? So I have been keeping them or cutting them down and things like that to keep them here. But this one, I really think I want to keep bold and in the middle. Really make it about this photograph. Okay? So we're going to do that. I'm going to grab... I'm still going to put my faux stitch in, but I'm going to use a brown micron. Okay. And I'm going to go around the edge of this first. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do one around the cream yet. I don't know whether I want to keep it a little bit more subtle. But I'm going to put this in now so that it's in there ready. So is everyone started making for the festive season yet? If you make for the festive season. I had promised myself I was going to make some Christmas cards this week. but I just haven't got to it. After half term, you'll probably have noticed the design team sort of keep Be Crafty going over October half term. So the first couple of days after that, I'm sort of getting myself back on track with things. So I haven't had chance yet, but I'm hoping towards the end of the week I'll get some done. Just some of the, because I don't know about you, but when I'm making for Christmas, I have, this is going to sound terrible, but I have different grades of Christmas cards. So I have, if I am making for everyone, which I don't always get time to do. So I sort of prioritise them depending on what I have time for. If I know I'm only going to have time to make ones, for example, for my mum, for Sam, etc., I'll take my time and make sure I do those ones really well. But if I can, I will try and hand make for everybody. But obviously the ones that I'm making a lot of, I do keep a little bit more simplified. Like I say, it's just down to time, really. So here we go. Now, if you only had a black, if you only have black fine liners, you know, Pigment Microns or other ones, I don't think that would be the end of the world for this, because obviously there is black printing on this Catalyst collage anyway. So I don't think it would, and I'm not sure, I severely doubt, to be honest. From your viewpoint, you can see that it's brown anyway. But I can. And I like that. So, you know, here we are. All right. So that is on here, which I think is looking absolutely beautiful. I really, really like it. But I love how they both look like they're focused on the same thing. I actually don't think they are. I think Abby was looking at the TV and Lucy was probably just looking into that. When she was a puppy, she used to watch the television a lot. But not so much as she's got older. I think just for the funsies, I am going to go for, the newest Dinkable set. Dinkable set 15. Okay, this one was really popular at our workshop a couple of weeks ago. I think it's because it has these two in it, in all honesty. I think whether you're art journaling or scrapbooking, I think this sort of easy repetition of pattern is just so much fun. And, you know, if you're sort of new to using stencils and things like that, these just sort of feel relaxed. They feel easy, like there's not too much pressure about them, which is quite cool. So I'm going to get my walnut stain. I'm just going to add a little bit onto there and a little bit down here. I haven't really thought about what else I'm going to add to this backing paper right now, because like I said, I really want that focal point to be the photograph. That's what we're focusing on this week anyway. But we're just going to add in, I'll tell you what, with our stripes, we're going to add in a little bit of the rusty hinge. I think it works with this particular paper set really, really well. So we'll add in a little bit of those. And sort of over the top almost. So sort of like blending those two patterns together. Because you don't want to be worried about that. Sort of bringing them in. Okay. All right. Now I will say I'm absolutely loving the moth on the top of here. So I'm thinking I might bring in some of the moth stamps and just add in a few more, because I think they, I don't know what, I'm just loving it. I just think they really look pretty. So we're going to add in a few of those to the background. And we'll use a couple of different sizes, I think. Okay, so we'll go with some of this one first. I'm sure this guy fits on my border block. He absolutely does. Fantastic. Now again, I'm not really worried too much about where I'm stamping these, because what I'm trying to do is just add to the background at the minute. I'm just going to get a little bit of scrap paper here. I'm going to stamp this one sort of half on, half off. And then I'm going to go for the smaller one. I'm going to go for, well, the smaller one, this sort of small of the main three, shall we say. Again, we're just going to put these sort of some random spots. And I think then I'm just going to add in a couple of these ones just for good measure. Maybe a little bit close to some of the ones that are already there and in that gap. Okay. And then I realise I've said "and then" several times now, so I apologise for that, because I find that annoying when people do that. I'm not doing it intentionally. I'm looking for my easy frames. And I want 4-inch easy frames. And I feel like the maple is somewhat of an obvious choice, so I'm thinking more the nettle. Okay, so if you haven't seen our easy frames before, our easy frame stencils, I'm actually just going to dry my VersaFine while I talk to you. Our easy frame stencils are available in 4 and 6-inch, and they're sort of basic shapes. So we've got a square, a circle, a star, and we've got 3 leaves. We've got a nettle, a maple, and an oak. And they're really cool for doing sort of block center shapes, but you do get the mask and the stencil, so they're exceedingly good value. Okay, so from here I'm going to get my walnut stain back. So my picture, we were thinking about here, weren't we? All right, so I'm just going to dark around the edges, softer in the middle. Okay, so you can see by just bringing in that heavy blend around the edge and the softer centre, you can create all sorts of dimension, which is absolutely fab. Which would work really well if we were keeping this also as an art journal page rather than a scrapbook page. Okay, yeah, it's funny, isn't it, the leaves this year? I think because it wasn't very windy and it's been ever so mild, the trees have stayed really full. really, as we've progressed right through October. But now the wind's sort of kicked in. It really has. They're just all of a sudden bare. Naked trees. Okay. So I'm going to use a 3D photo. I'm going to stick my picture down now because all of my big elements that I wanted to add to the background paper I've now done. So now I actually want to start working around my photograph and adding in anything else. But I have been working on a schedule of themes I would like to launch or make something for next year. So if there is anything ever that you guys want to add to that, you do have to let me know, get involved. Okay, now I'm thinking I would like to do sort of a title for this one, but I think this tag is going to be too big. But if I cut it down, take that out. Have I got any more of those? Just thinking, if I cut that down, we don't have to worry about it being super straight because I'll tuck it in behind the photograph anyway. No, I don't know about that. Just wonder if that tag's too big. I do think that way works. I don't know actually. Oh, I actually quite like both of those on the right. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to take my typewriter alphabet. I'm a bad typewriter alphabet possessor. I lose them because I'm careless. But I do have all the letters I want for this. Okay, so we're going to do Abby, and right, let me just double check that will fit. Abby and I'm going to use the walnut stain. This is a really good alphabet set. You have lots of your punctuation, you have upper and lower case, so there's, you know, Abby and Lucy. And then I'm going to try it on this bit first, just to see how I feel about it. I'm going to go with the date of the picture, which is 2019. It's going to be, ink that up, put that right on the bottom there. Okay, but I think what we need to do as well is with our blending brush, I'll just push this to the side just a second. Just work off the edge of my easy frame here. I think we need to add a little bit of adding that sort of vintage vibes that we've been using with the sepia tones. And I might even add in a little bit more of because what I want to do as we go into 2026 is we're going to do more journaling in our pages, actually add in more details of when the picture was taken, that sort of thing. Get I sort of do it like that. Do we think to the right or do we think in the middle? Because I think I will say now it's, I could always, I just think the tag was too big to do as one, or I could do it as a banner if you don't like the tag. Let me know what you think. You think a little bit to the right? I'm worried this has left this section quite empty. We might need to find something to put in this section. How about, do you remember when I was cutting all these out the other day? Do we think, just waiting for the video to catch up, you see, so I can see. I don't think today's your day either, my lovely little peony. Maybe if you were stamped in walnut stain, who knows? Okay, like I said, we need to add in something here. I am I'm going to grab some of nope. Or am I just overcomplicating it? Doesn't sound like me at all, does it? Do I have... suitable ribbon? Now, when I was primarily a scrapbooker, rickrack was my thing. Absolutely love rickrack. It's beautiful and pretty without being overly complex. And I like that. So, rickrack girly through and through. So I'm just going to get a couple of different ribbons here and see if maybe just adding some ribbon, maybe just adding some rickrack, like maybe just another texture. To break it down a little. Oh, I'll definitely need a third one if I'm doing two. And this is one of these, do not ask where any of my ribbons come from. Well, you can, actually, that's you can ask, absolutely. But I will not have any valuable answers for you. Ooh, that's nice. It's like a naturally fibre. See, I think that's the thing. I think it's just adding in some more media, some different textures. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I don't even mind if you think it's a no, 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 because for me it's a yes, yes, yes. Okay, so first of all, yep. And what I'm doing here now, sort of adding in bits after, is sort of the very basis of why Be Crafty stamps are clear. Because I would get to certain stages of my projects and then want to add things in afterwards. And if your stamps aren't see-through, that's really difficult. Okay. So, I'm just going to use my favourite fussy cutting scissors to cut ribbon, which, trust me, is a lot less of a sin than using fabric scissors to cut paper. And what I should do is add a little bit of ribbon. To the top of this tag. And what I could do with, and I had one at one point, a stapler in here to staple that down. So I'll have to get one of those. But for now, I'll just add a dab of glue. And a clip. Okay. So whilst not necessarily my most complicated scrapbooking page that we have done together this year, this is actually one of my favourites. I feel like it's really starting to return now to the scrapbook I used to do by adding in some ribbon and doing the tag and actually adding in some words and things like that, which is, I have to say, bringing me quite a lot of joy. If you're going to have a go at scrapbooking this month, which I really, really want you to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an album in the Be Crafty Stamps group on Facebook and put in all the scrapbooking pages we've made together this year, and I'll put links to the YouTube channel. So if you want to go in and have a go, you can follow these step by step. But what I'd also love you to do is, if you've made any scrapbooking pages using our papers, stamps, that sort of thing, please add them in there, because that would be lovely. And if you have a YouTube channel or an Instagram post where you've posted it, feel free to post that as well. All right then, guys, which glue am I using? It's just a white glue. It's a white craft glue. It's very similar to what was Tombow. We used to be able to get it years ago. It's from a fantastic Korean company, but they stopped importing to the UK. Absolutely fantastic glue. But it's just a good white glue. A good white craft glue. A good white craft glue you trust. Okay then, my lovelies. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I say, hopefully back on it, you know, get my brain back in the game. So if you guys have any suggestions, okay, because look, I have A4 sheets for the plans for next year, and whatever. So if you have anything you would like me to add into there, please let me know, because I want to make the product that you want to use right along with me. All right then, guys, thank you so much. Bye bye.